Very good afternoon. Welcome everyone to the 2943rd lecture of the prestigious Bangalore Science Forum. Honorable President of National Education Society, Dr.HN Subramania is here today. A hearty welcome to you, sir. A warm welcome to our guest speaker today, Shri Gururaj. I also welcome the Honorary Secretary of National Education Society, Shri Venkat Shivareddy, Chairman of National College, Baswangudi, Shri Sudhakar, Chairman of National PU College, Shri Ram Mohan, sir. I also welcome Principal Dr. Y.C. Kamla and Vice Principal Professor Alakananda, Principal of PU College, Professor Saumya, so let me introduce our guest speaker. Shri Gururaj is the Vice President at Oracle America Incorporated. He has over 25 years of extensive experience in the information technology industry. He holds a master's degrees in computer science and English. He is an alumnus of the University of California, Berkeley, where he completed a technology leadership program for executives as a top student. This program focused on emerging trends in technology, including data transformation, artificial intelligence, machine learning, generative artificial intelligence, and robotics. He is also an alumnus of National College, Jayanagar. Gururaj has authored numerous articles, publications, and textbooks on varieties of topics including technology, management, cloud computing, business communication, professional communication, copy editing, and grammar. At Oracle, Shri Gururaj leads a large development organization responsible for the development and maintenance of Oracle's top web properties and assets built on Oracle Cloud. Prior to joining Oracle, he worked at technology giants such as HP, Sun Microsystems, and Adobe. As a guest faculty member, he has guided postgraduate students at Mercer University, USA. While in India, he taught as a weekend guest faculty at Christ University, Bangalore, for over 12 years and was instrumental in launching several new courses and programs at these universities. Gururaj is passionate about teaching, youth development, teacher development, creating employment opportunities for youth, internship, mentoring, communication, social media, digital marketing, and continuous improvement initiatives and processes. He lives in the Bay Area, California, with his son and wife. Shri Gururaj will be speaking on artificial intelligence and career guidance today. Once again, I extend a warm welcome to Shri Gururaj from Bangalore Science Forum. Okay.
Hello everyone. Good afternoon. It's so nice to see you today. And before I begin, I just had a quick question, if you don't mind. Sir, are you Mr. TKP, by any chance? I am your student from Vijaya High School. Yeah. Thank you. Because I wanted to make sure you were my teachers. That's why I asked you the question first. So thank you so much, sir. You taught me geometry at Vijaya High School. So, Prapancha Bala settled it. We live in a very small world. See, I said I studied at Vijaya High School. I met Mr. Raghunandan just about 2 days ago. See here, I'm National College Jayanagar alumni, and here meeting with NES management. We live in a small world, right? So I was just amazed because I think I'm seeing him after probably 93 was the last, I think, when I saw him. So I just wanted to make sure you're the person. And I used to really appreciate your teaching quite a bit. So thank you so much, sir. Yeah. ನಾನು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ತಪ್ಪಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅವರಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ತಪ್ಪಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ದೊಡ್ಡವರು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡೆ. I will come and speak with you, sir. Thank you. All right, so today I'm here to talk about, I know she said artificial intelligence and career guidance, but I'd like to also start with some technology trends, okay? So I'm not using any PowerPoint because I really hope this will be interactive in nature in this session. I would like you to ask questions, as many questions as you can, okay? Let's make it interactive. Science forum, you need to ask a lot of questions. I just saw this caption in the president's office. ಪ್ರಶ್ನಿಸದೆ ಏನು ಒಪ್ಪಬೇಡಿ. That's what I think Dr.HN said. ಏನು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಮಾಡದೆ ಒಪ್ಪಬೇಡಿ ಅಂತ. So please ask questions. Okay? So let's start with artificial intelligence. I know we have heard that buzzword, everybody talking about artificial intelligence or AI. Anybody knows when this was introduced? When did this start? This whole AI type of thing, this whole trend. When did this start? Any guesses? 2009. 1960s. Who said 1950s? Yeah, so I think 50s and 60s is close. So 1956 is when at a research workshop in a place called Dartmouth in the US, AI was introduced. So I was telling somebody yesterday, what happens is AI was always there. AI, artificial intelligence, was always there. People started exploring how to infuse human-like intelligence into computers. It's pretty straightforward, right? Computers cannot think like humans. They do not have emotions like humans. So somebody started researching how can we infuse some intelligence into these devices and computers. This research started in 1956. So then it continued, research continued, experiments continued. What happened was every year there used to be something called summer and winter, 2 seasons, right? Summer and winter. What is special about summer? Summer is hot, right? Summer means hot. Winter means? So whenever there was like AI summer, which means everybody talking about AI, everybody focusing on AI, everybody doing research on AI, all projects focusing on AI. It's really like hot, everybody focusing on it, mainstream, and that's when people called it summer, just for fun. They also used to be winter, which means winter is cold, right? Just like in Kannada, people say, "Thanagagoytu anta." Whatever used to be very hot, buzzword, thanagagoytu. Yavaga, whenever the experiments did not yield the results they were looking for, or when they realized, ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ ದುಡ್ಡು, whatever money they were spending, not on the research, I'm talking about infrastructure. We know only one part of AI, ChatGPT. How many of you have heard of ChatGPT? Everybody has heard of ChatGPT. How many of you are using ChatGPT for your academic work? Are you allowed to use? That's amazing. So this is one part of AI, right? Because we only look at the applications and uses of something like AI. But I'm talking about the infrastructure required to host AI applications. It's really expensive. So first of all, one of the biggest barriers to adoption of AI or AI applications is the cost of infrastructure. Today you look at any hardware, the trend you see, right? What used to be the hardware in a data center. Remember the IBM mainframes? IBM mainframes, when people used to have very high-end large servers, they would look like rack machines with many multiple units. This used to be the infrastructure way back maybe 2 decades ago. Then came virtual computers or virtual machines. IBM started this whole virtual machine type of technology. A lot of virtual machines followed, which means you have the hardware, you still need the hardware. But on top of it, you're creating virtual machines, right? Maybe Windows, Solaris, or whatever. This is what happened with the technology infrastructure. Now, with the advent of AI, what you need is more than this virtual, there used to be virtual CPUs, right? It's just like how you need CPUs, virtual CPUs. You need something more than that because you need GPUs. You heard of GPUs. GPUs are really steep, extremely expensive. So any company that wants to adopt AI, anyone that wants to implement AI to solve a problem, you should be ready to make that kind of investment in infrastructure. So whenever they realize this, and also AI used to come up with a lot of these issues with respect to ethics. You go to ChatGPT and you ask ChatGPT to badmouth Donald Trump, it might do it. I mean, my point is ethics is really important, right? Whatever you do, ethics is extremely important. There is no human sitting behind the ChatGPT or the AI system curating that content for you. There's nobody that's curating the content, which means it's all based on the data that's already been provided, the data that's the system has been trained on. And whatever they get is really, maybe accurate, maybe fine politically correct, may not be politically correct, right? So ethics was a problem and compliance. How do you know? If I want to write a little article, I go to ChatGPT and say, hey, write this article on something, education improvements in Karnataka in the last 10 years. ChatGPT might give me an article, but it's going to source multiple sentences or fragments or paragraphs from various content sources on the internet, public internet. And we don't know who owns all that content. How do you know that content is accurate? How do you know that you're not doing any kind of copyright infringement? Plagiarism. We don't know, right? So whenever the topic of ethics, compliance, and the cost of infrastructure, and the expertise you need for developing AI, you also need very special expertise, right? It's not the same as studying, C programming language or computer science standard topics. So whenever that used to happen, there used to be AI winter. People would go silent on it for some time. Suddenly with ChatGPT in 2000, when was this? 3 years ago, 3 years ago, everybody now talking about AI. So I think based on my research, AI is going to be, I think, popular, will continue to be popular. It is going to continue to create some jobs for the next 25, 30 years, easily. So we don't believe it's going to actually have multiple AI winters in the next 25, 30 years. So if somebody picks up the right skills in AI, machine learning, anyone knows what is machine learning? Is anyone studying machine learning here? No machine learning? Training machines? So you're training machines, let's say computers here, and you're teaching that based on some training data, right? Either supervised or unsupervised. So to keep it very simple, machine learning means you're learning from data. That's all it means. You're learning from data, which means you need to have the right data to start with, existing data set to start with, and then you'll start training the models, either supervised or unsupervised, to teach the machine to do something, right? This is what machine learning is all about. This skill set, algorithms to develop machine learning, or AI systems, or AI architect, these kinds of roles are going to exist and will probably be the most important ones. Just like how maybe 25 years ago, getting into Infosys, getting into Wipro, TCS was so like, everybody wanted to do that, right? Oh, this is, I think, my goal, my dream job is to get into a company such as Infosys, Wipro, or TCS. And then it changed. Some people said with the advent of internet, Oh, I want to get into my dream company, Google. And then social media came. People said, I want to work for Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, right? So now people might say and even Tesla, right? AI with autonomous and all that. So next 25, 30 years, the skill set that you're going to develop either as an AI engineer who can write algorithms, who can develop AI applications, who can create those models of machine learning and AI effectively, and with the knowledge of ethics and compliance, and with the governance model also, right? Because you need to keep tuning these models. If the ChatGPT makes a mistake, you need to learn from it and keep tuning your models. So, because most of these AI stuff is all experiments today. If you go and look at any technology giant's website, if you see a little prompt there saying, okay, this is the AI assistant, the point is, I think you'll also see this is a preview or a beta or experiment. So this is what they'll say. And if you like the answer, if you got what you wanted, then you can click a thumbs up. If you don't like the answer, you can click thumbs down. So this data goes back to the company so they can tune their models and improve it based on what was accurate and what was not accurate, right? So this is just the basic definition of AI and machine learning. But let's also talk about some of the technology trends in the last decade. Why did I pick the last decade, like 10 years? Because I think the last 10 years, we have seen some significant changes, transformative type of technologies introduced, used, adopted in the last about 10 years. Can you name a few? And some of us use this on a day-to-day basis. What do you guys think? Last 10 years. Don't limit yourself to software. Also think about others. To give an example, think of electric cars. So last 10 years, what kind of technology changes or evolution have you seen in the last decade? Just go ahead, share something, whatever you believe became very popular in the last 10 years. You've heard of Bitcoin, Web 3.0 or blockchain. Blockchain really became very popular. What is blockchain? It's not just limited to Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency or digital currency. It's a decentralized network, more like a secure ledger on the internet. It can be used in multiple kind of scenarios or use cases. So blockchain is one, that's good. Any others? Any others? Crypto, blockchain, let's make it one, like Web 3.0. Social media. So what we saw, I think when several years ago, remember when at least I was in high school or college, I used to go to a cyber cafe. We didn't have internet at home. I would go to a cyber cafe and that guy would try to connect to the internet using a dial-up connection. That would take about maybe 5 minutes, 4 minutes with some ringing tone or something like that, like a fax machine sound, if you remember. That's how it started. And then we started seeing websites on computers. And the websites really meant, oh, if I'm running a business, you need to have presence on the internet. So you would have static pages, just descriptions, conceptually. There was no shopping, online shopping, nothing. It was just about the company, listing of jobs, what products we offer, what services we offer. This is more like a Web 1.0 type of era, right? Where the website itself started, people started getting connectivity, internet connectivity, started seeing some basic websites, right? This was Web 1.0, if you will. Then changed, the content became a lot more collaborative. Oh, there's no point in just having content one-sided, right? You need to have interaction. Yeah, just like how I encourage you to ask questions. If I'm the only one speaking, it's going to be a monologue which will bore you. If you ask, it has to be two-sided. Similarly, even on the website, where a company is speaking to a potential customer, it needs to have a dialogue rather than a monologue. If it needs to have a dialogue, then there should be a set of features that enable the user also to interact, maybe provide some feedback. Gradually, maybe also provide some, I don't know, maybe some reviews of the product or book reviews, right? This is how it started. The collaboration between the user and the website provider started. Yeah. And then somebody thought, oh, why don't we extend this to more social networking type of causes? You know, it's very hard to meet everybody face to face all the time. Why don't we also connect with some friends, right? So then somebody started this whole, I don't know if you still remember some of those applications. Orkut. Anybody remembers Orkut? Yeah, this is probably 80s or 90s, I don't know, maybe. Orkut was a similar, just like a, you can call it Facebook several years ago, right? Not owned by Facebook, but Orkut was a similar application where you would have, and something called Jabber was there, some Insta chat was there. So you would connect with other people and you're having a conversation, right? This is how it started. Because the kind of communication also changed. Remember, in the first era, it was more of descriptions, concepts, somebody giving you like a formal introduction to the company, a formal introduction to the products, formal introduction to the services. Then you would end up with just a paragraph with some bullet list. Now that you're transitioned to more of, hey, speaking, like dialogue and conversation, then even the style of communication changed to more of conversations. All the shorter sentences, SMS language, LOL, right? These are all a result of that. So then came this whole Facebook. Who started Facebook? Mark Zuckerberg. So everybody knows Mark Zuckerberg started Facebook. And yeah, I think he must be cursing himself. Why did he start Facebook? Because all of these have, just like any technology, any innovation, there are pros and cons. It's nice as long as it's used in the right way, right? Then people also abuse a lot of these innovations and technology. Facebook came, then WhatsApp came. So this is the 2.0, Web 2.0 type of time, where social media kind of started gaining a foothold in the lives of people, right? People also started, I think that's when somebody saw the opportunity, maybe I don't want to say somebody, maybe let's say Steve Jobs from Apple saw the opportunity. In 2009, he released the first iPhone. The first iPhone came in 2009. And I'm not referring to your normal phones, I'm referring to smartphones. The smartphone evolution really helped with the advancement of social media and communication tools. Do you agree? Smartphone, in the last, I think, several years, it's become really smarter. Earlier, people used phones to make calls or receive calls. And I come from the time when we had a nice landline, actual landline with the, the dial pad, right? That's how we all, we used to get calls either from friends or family. And it changed, then we got cordless phones. It's still the landline, the same number, just the cordless. And that changed to mobile phones, pagers. Pagers with the text and strings. Then it changed to mobile phones. But from mobile phones, it changed to smartphones. With the smartphones, and now with the evolution of social media, it really helped someone. Whom? It helped the smartphone companies. Because I think, they started selling more. That's when Steve Jobs became, one of the richest people. Apple gained, very significant market share. All the iPhone model, pretty much every year, you get a new model now, right? So this starts smartphone, I would say. First was, I said, the Web 3.0, blockchain. Second, to summarize, is the social media. Third is smartphones. What else? E-commerce, right? So e-commerce is the experience that you have. We used to go to, I think several years ago, it used to be like a Kirani store. A Kirani store changed to going to a supermarket and buying stuff. I still feel really sometimes, technically challenged because I don't have the Phone Pay and Google Pay. I'm observing when I go because, since the Indian banks don't support US number. So I think the online e-commerce and all the shopping, everything started actually happening on the website. So all of these, let's call it e-commerce, online shopping, that whole experience itself. And that was one of them. What else? Computing itself, right? A lot of computing. In 1960s is when somebody thought, I think it was a project called DARPA, which funded by MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. They said, okay, let's start sharing computers more on a time-share basis among 4 people. 4 people, time sharing, and using the computer resources. This is how the concept of computing started. Of course, people, somebody would go and buy a computer, and if they had the money, they would go and buy and use it. That's pretty straightforward. But let's look at the time-sharing type of thing. And then somebody said, oh, can we start looking at a different type of pricing model for these? Why should I pay if I'm not using? If the system is turned off, should I pay for it? Start thinking mathematically, right? If I buy a computer for 100,000 rupees, if I use it only for 2 hours a day, why should I spend so much? So you should only pay for your use. And this was actually inspired by utility type of services, electricity bills. I think the BESCOM and KEB started this many years ago, even before cloud computing came. Yeah, the business model is what I'm talking about, not the cloud computing. What is cloud computing? You're renting stuff. Yeah, it's very similar to the water meter that you have, electricity meter that you have. And somebody said, okay, I'll put a meter at your location, at your house. Based on how many units you consume, you're going to be charged. Right? Very similar concept. The business concept, I think, was inspired. Computing, cloud computing, business model was inspired by the utility type of services. And somebody said, okay, let's do time sharing, and then this whole cloud computing came. Last 10 years, we have seen an explosion. Amazon started off as a bookstore, online bookstore. Did you know that? Yeah, it started off as an online bookstore. Then it became hugely popular because of Amazon Web Services, AWS or EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. So now they are probably the number 1 in the cloud computing space. So that was one trend, is the cloud computing. What else? Augmented reality. IoT, absolutely. So these days everybody, I don't know about India, you guys use smart homes. You control thermostats, you control lighting, everything using your phones. Yeah, great. So that's really the application of something like IoT, right? Internet of Things. You're connecting all objects to the internet. That's really what IoT means. And now, you get all these smart home type of features where I control my lighting, you can even schedule it, or your washing machine, turn it, any device, pretty much anything, that appliance that you have, you can connect them to the internet and you can just control through this, your application or phone, right? So IoT is a good one. And of course, it has many more uses. This is just a basic use. What else? AR, VR, augmented reality and virtual reality. Do you know what the difference is between the two?
Virtual reality, we should see from that box or what is it? Augmented reality, we can see at 3D.
So this is interesting. No, I'm laughing not because at the answer, but I think it just I reminded of a joke, which is the way you explain. AR VR is not about, okay, I use AR VR with the device. It's like saying, what is a 3D movie? Oh, the movie that I watch using the glass is a 3D movie. It's not that thing, right? So AR, as the name says, augmented reality, which means you're augmenting reality. Reality already exists, which means we are in this real world and you're bringing some virtual elements to augment your experience, enhance your experience, right? It's not 100% virtual. It has, I don't know, whatever percentage reality. The real environment, you want to probably think of something like gaming or even something like online shopping, whatever, right? So there, you're enhancing the reality using AR technology, augmented reality. What is virtual reality? 100% virtual. There is no reality there. To give you an idea, imagine you have a 3D model of a car that you want to buy. You go to the car's website, you start building the car 3D on the website. Oh, this is the configuration I need. This is what I need. This is the color I need. So you end up seeing a model of the car that you want to buy. Then you go make the purchase online. So this type of virtually enhancing the experience is basically virtual reality. So AR, VR, of course, it has many other uses. Gaming, of course, and lots of other. Gaming is a big one. But we still have not seen AR, VR going to peak. If you ask me any trend, be it technology trend or even a fashion trend, all of these have a cycle, life cycle. Life cycle is they're introduced first, then there is adoption, then they go to a peak, then there is decline, then they go obsolete. It's almost like a little life cycle that you have for any type of trend. I would say two things, fashion trend and technology trends. So AR and VR have not gone to the peak yet. It's still in adoption only in some limited sectors. What else? AR and VR are great. Artificial intelligence, which we, let's make all of them part of AI technologies, 3D printing, AI, robotics, right? So robotics, a lot of people started seeing the uses of robots. Where? Any idea? Where are robots useful? Surgeries? You're okay to risk people's life? Now, I'm joking, but robotic tooth implants, I think, are very common now. And restaurants, when COVID pandemic started, when there was a need for keeping social distancing and touchless type of experience, robots started, I believe, serving food at the restaurants, right, as to replacing the human suppliers. And then, of course, in the Amazon type of warehouses, you also have the robots carrying the stuff like boxes and others, packing them, right? So this is another robot experience. One that's very popular in the US, you go to any household, you will see, it's called a Zumba. The mopping robot, right? That's very common. That's not because of AI, it's because you don't get maid servants in the US. That is why you get the little robots that everybody purchases, okay? So that's, robotics and AI. What else? Anything else? Cyber security? Yeah, with all the, given all the technology, blockchain, social media, everything proliferating, you also need cyber security, right? And with also the banking, everything happening online, right? Not just online, now I think it's even advanced with the UPI, all of it, cryptocurrencies. So there is always a need for security. So note that whenever you think of a password that you set, probably 10 more people might have the same password or know the password. This is how it works. This is why people started using multi-factor authentication and fingerprints and keys and all that, right? Security in general is crucial, and it's the cornerstone of any business. Imagine using a banking application, you're not able to log in. See the impact, right? It's very basic. Infrastructure is so common. Even a login itself is so basic. What else? Voice recognition is great because I think I would also extend it to voice assistants as well, like the voice assistants in board, Alexa, Siri, Cortana, and all of the Google. So all of these voice assistants, I think, have become popular. At the same time, AI also generates voice. You guys know that, right? AI generates voice, AI generates text, AI generates images, videos. So voice is one. I think the chatbots, whatever people thought digital assistants, it used to be text-based and then it changed to more of a voice assistant. That's great. Any more? think beyond IT, software, anything in terms of renewable energy, sustainability, electric cars, solar, wind technologies. See, why did Tesla become so popular? Electric cars, right? So people, I think, started seeing, became more serious about environmental issues. A lot of people started thinking, oh, now I don't want to have that pollution emission, so let me start help with the energy consumption, and they started going for electric vehicles. And does that mean electric vehicles are the solution to everything? Trust me, electric vehicles have their own problems. One example is, if I charge my Tesla, I do have a Tesla, so if I charge a Tesla, I know my electric bill is going to be very expensive. If I charge it using the PG&E, the BESCOM's equivalent is called PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric, that bill is going to be steep if I use that electricity to charge my Tesla. So most homes now have solar. Solar is what they use to charge electric vehicles. So you get Tesla batteries as well. So that whole renewable energy sustainability, that is also something that has been a great trend. Anything else we're missing? Space sectors, biotechnology. Which one? Yeah, but can you explain? Say a few more things. Yeah, so he's referring to one of, thank you, he's referring to one of Elon Musk's projects. I think SpaceX was one of them. He runs a company called SpaceX. Probably he has lost account of the companies now. Twitter, Tesla, X, multiple companies, right? But in a nutshell, I think you got the idea. These have been the most important type of trends which have affected our daily lives and which are also paving the way for the future. Trust me, what used to be science fiction many years ago is turning out to be reality now. So you would have a nice science fiction type of a movie. Now you're thinking, oh, wow, this is becoming reality now, right? Maybe another 10 years from now, it might even advance. So these are some trends I wanted to touch upon. So let's talk a little more, deep dive into AI. Gen AI, have you heard of Gen AI? What is Gen AI? If you say yes, you have to answer. That you give me the expansion. Tell me more.
It generates the data according to what prompts.
So, thank you, but I think it needs a little more. It generates new data based on the prompt, which means there is existing data already. Everything is based on the existing data set. ChatGPT, please sit. ChatGPT, or Google's equivalent of ChatGPT? What is? One before that, where Google failed, big time, very popular. No, the ChatGPT's equivalent. Did you hear of Google Bard? Google Bard was ChatGPT's direct competition. Then they didn't, they released it, and then Google for the first time made a big mistake. I think the stocks also fell on the same day. And they again went and invested back in the project. So anyway, the idea is simple. If you're going to give a prompt saying this is what I need, ask the right question, you'll get the right answer. Ask the right question, the right answer comes, but there is no intelligence sitting there to give you the answer. Instead, there's a lot of, you might think of this as you're trying to write an examination, you're given a question paper, so you're asking me a question. It's more like a prompt. Answer is not the students. Answer is all the answer scripts from the last 10 years. You're retrieving from that. Retrieval augmented generation, RAG. You're retrieving from that and trying to make up an answer. Semantically, you're trying to, it doesn't have any intelligence. It just sees, okay, maybe I should take a fragment of a sentence from this one source, maybe a fragment from another, maybe a little 2 or 3 steps. If you ask how to make coffee, you might 2 or 3 steps from another website. So it will give you something like a synthetic answer that looks like a generated response. many a time the response may not be effective or 100% accurate. You may get something, right? But you're generating, Gen AI is generating new data based on the existing data. So it's all about the quality of existing data. So this is Gen AI. Any other comments or questions about Gen AI? Which one is very popular now? GPT? Guess know what? Which GPT is popular? GPT, I think it's gone to 4 now. GPT 4, 3 is I think probably what's in the market, but OpenAI, the company that got some funding from Microsoft, is continuing to do very well and investing in GPT 3, GPT 4, and obviously everybody today in Silicon Valley in the US, you go to any shop, there used to be a time when people said, oh, I'm working on a social media application. They would get funding from a venture capitalist. They would say, I want money for my entrepreneurship, so can you give me some funding? So now, any shop you go to, they mention AI and machine learning everywhere. So this is, it's become like keyword, like resume keywords, right? So these are some keywords. If I want to get some funding, then I use the right 2 to 3 terms. So at this time, let me move to the career part of it. So career-wise, I think, no, I have to say, kind of I'm a little jealous of you guys. Reason is simple. When I was a student, we did not have access to learning content as much as you guys have. So we had a library, we had wonderful teachers, we had a library, but that's pretty much it. In the sense you had to do your work on your own, or some people went to like a private tutor. But what I'm saying is, there was never like a YouTube. You did not get like video learning content for free. Companies did not offer any content for free because, if you still remember, you guys remember Sun Certified Java? Sun Certified, Oracle Certified Java, Microsoft Certified Programmer. All these things existed when it used to be, or even you might remember NIIT, Aptech. NIIT, Aptech are like interesting businesses, right? You know, after along with your graduation, you also do an NIIT course or Aptech computer science course. So now they are not popular because the learning content has become almost free. So you get at least some percent, at least 101 basic level or maybe intermediate level for free. You don't need to spend a penny on it. You get content for free. Some of these companies also offer free certifications. So you take the training for free, you take you watch the videos, you do some exercises hands-on. And I mentioned companies like Amazon Web Services, Oracle, Microsoft, all of these offer free trial services, cloud services. So you take that, get some hands-on experience, you apply for certification, you get certification also for free. This was not the case when we were students. That's what I meant. And I said, I'm jealous of you because we had to spend money on everything. Had to go to a course and then buy a computer, but you get even virtual machines for free forever. Oracle offers something called always free infrastructure. So you get, if you want to run your personal website, you can download this from Oracle and just run it forever. You don't have to spend anything at all, right? So career-wise, I think, how many of you are looking to get into the IT industry? So, great, that's a good number. And mostly you guys are what, BCA, BSc? BCA, BSc, okay. So what do you think is important? Is it your technical skill set, programming skill set? Is it your social skills, interpersonal skills, communication skills? What is important? What do you think is important? Everything. How and why? Okay, why? Why is everything important? I'm let's say, a wonderful Java programmer, but I don't have any other skills. Can I not get a job as a Java programmer? And what about your academic score? Is that required, important? It's important. So absolutely, and I've been a hiring manager in Oracle for over 20, 25 years. But let me give you this. Your academic score is more like the very basic prerequisite. You cannot even apply to a company without your graduation with whatever that percentage. A company, let's pick a company, right? Let's say Google. If I go with the 50% marks in my graduation, forget any call, nobody will even talk to you. So you're just qualifying as an applicant if you have the minimum percentage. So which means academic score continues to be important. So because we have all heard stories, oh, Steve Jobs was a dropout, Larry Ellison was a dropout, Mark Zuckerberg, I think, was a dropout. Yeah, not everybody can be a Steve Jobs, right? You have to start with this, especially when you don't have experience. Academic score is your foundation, so you qualify as an applicant if you have academic score. Okay, now that you qualify as an applicant, what next? So if you get a call for a written test, so they mostly test on your analytic skills, aptitude, numerical aptitude, stuff like the logic, they test all this, right? So, which means I think you should continue to, practice your analytics and all of that, and which means you pass the written test. Does that mean you're good? First round, second round, maybe you'll have technical interviews. Most of these companies are doing loops now. Loop means 6 to 7 rounds on the same day. If you go in the morning, by evening you're exhausted. Either you come with a job offer or you don't come with a job offer. If you stay there till evening, which means you've passed each round. So they don't want to waste your time or their time. First 2 rounds, your technical skills. And even technical skills, they don't care whether you know Java or C++. It's your all the fundamentals, which is data structures, lead code, right? So stuff like that. So you need to be very good at problem solving. At least give them, this is my approach to solving the problem. If you don't, I still remember, TKP sir, in geometry we used to have, if you had a theorem, let's say Pythagoras theorem, you would solve that theorem and then write down all the steps. Finally, you would write QED. Is that right, sir? Quad errata demonstratum or something like that. So, which means it's all about what is the approach to solving the problem, right? Do you know how to solve the problem? Even if you don't get the answer, you make a little mistake in the last step, it's okay, but the point is the approach, right? So they look at that. Sometimes they also ask you to whiteboard all this. After that will be as a person, are you somebody that can work with a team? Are you a good team player? You have wonderful skills, but can you work with people? Because you're going to work with people, right? Today, nothing can work without people. Everything boils down to projects, but everything boils down to people and communication. So that's where they see your communication, your social skills, interpersonal skills, your, also the honesty and integrity. That's important. Whether you have lied on your resume. Some people lie on the resume. If I claim to be a database expert and I don't know anything about database, or I just know the surface level knowledge, people can catch you. That's the reason they're in that hiring manager position and I am a candidate, right? So which means lying on the resume, or if you just quote some experience that is fake, people can catch it. So then starts, finally, if you clear all these rounds, then comes HR and your salary, compensation, whether you get company shuttle or a free food, all of these will come later. So, but to really pass all these rounds, you need to start with, so all of these are important. Your social, technology, problem solving, communication, all of these are important. Any questions about this? Anything that's bothering you, how to get a job or how to prepare for it? How to prepare for it, you should absolutely brush up your basic data structures type of thing if you're going to apply the job of a programmer, and keep practicing. And there are also some practice papers on the internet. And I think some of them have also released Google typical interview questions, or Amazon common questions asked on the Amazon interview. And many of them also have, if they ask you a question, right, they look for your answers to be in a specific format. It's very simple. STAR, star. Amazon expects you to provide answers in the star format. When you're verbally answering the question, it needs to be the star format. What is S? Is the situation. What is the problem? So you should be able to explain what the problem is. If you're able to define the problem, I think you're almost like 50% done with the solution. So first is situation. T is the task at hand. What is the task at hand? If you worked at a company, you worked on a great project, what did you guys have to do as a task? A is the actions you took. What is the action you took? You had a problem. This was a task on hand. This is the action you and your team took to solve the problem. R is the result. What was the result of the action? So your answers need to be in this format when you're giving an answer to the interviewer. Just said, oh no, I think, I know I worked at this company, I worked on this project, I was the lead contributor. It won't work. You'll have to give these answers. So how to prepare? There are lots of these people, ex-Amazon employees, ex-Google employees, ex-Oracle employees that have shared these experiences on the internet, on YouTube. Watch them, practice, and then I think you should be able to crack it. If not the first time, absolutely. If you don't get the first one, don't worry. Just think you've been made for something better. With that attitude, practice, and then you will get it. Any other questions? How to build? This is a great question. I love it. So I'll start with a joke, and it's a little story. Do you think English or any kind of communication is important? Is important? Yeah? Kind of important or important? Important, right? So let's, I think when you send a resume to a company, or when you send a cover note with your resume, do you think making mistakes, spellings and typos is okay? So I'll give you a little story. Have you heard of this animal called panda? Panda is a bear-like mammal native to China. This panda, it's a story, okay? Don't take it too seriously. The panda goes to a cafe. This panda goes to a cafe and it orders a sandwich. Don't start thinking whether the panda can order a sandwich. Panda goes to a cafe and orders a sandwich. The supplier, he brings the sandwich, but then the panda draws a gun from its pocket. Again, don't think whether the panda has a pocket. This is just a story. The panda draws a gun from its pocket and shoots in the air. Draws a gun, shoots in the air, and leaves the cafe. See the sequence? The panda draws a gun, shoots in the air, and leaves the cafe. And the supplier is perplexed. He's confused. What's going on? Why did this panda come here, order a sandwich, maybe ate the sandwich, and then shot in the air and left? So then he goes and calls the panda. Tell me, what's going on? Why did you do this? The panda produces a manual, a printed manual. In libraries you get this wildlife encyclopedia where you see the descriptions of animals, right? It produces that and gives it to the supplier and says, I am a panda, look it up, which means he goes to the letter P for panda, right? See description? So there, the guy that wrote the description had written, panda eats, shoots, and leaves. Panda, native to China, eats, shoots, and leaves. Did you get it? What is it? So what was the mistake? Come on, should have been there or should not have been there? Should not have been there, right? Because the panda did what was written. Should not have been there. So even a small comma makes a difference. Panda eats shoots and leaves. Panda does not eat, shoot, and leave. Right? Just to give you the idea that communication is really key to the success of any project, anything, not just interviews, getting a job, everything, right? And how do you improve? You asked how do you improve? First, please start speaking in English with your friends. Please don't get me wrong. I am a hardcore Kannadiga. I am a leader of a Kannada Sangha in Tri-Valley. I sing Kannada songs, but I still say, please speak to your friends, especially when you're preparing for jobs or for competitive exams. Speak with your friends or your family, whoever you're comfortable with, in English. The reason is simple. You need to think in English and then frame your sentence in English. Don't think in your native language and frame the sentence in English. So it's important to have some friends that you can speak to in English. Read newspapers. Newspapers are lovely. I love it. So I'll give you one more anecdotal story here. You guys have a paper and pen, any chance? Or are you all laptop users? Can I request you to write down one simple sentence? Yeah, I'm just going to make it up now on the fly for you. So here is the background. The background is simple. A businessman wants to set up, don't write this whole thing, I'll give you the sentence. A businessman wants to set up a fish stall or a shop in a market. He wants to set up a fish stall in a market. So he goes to one of these copywriters or advertising writers and says, hey, I'm writing a caption that I want to display outside the shop. Like a little hoarding, right? Boarding. So I want to write that. So now write the sentence. Fresh fish food available today. Fresh fish food available today. Simple, right? Fresh fish food available today. This is a sentence. He said, this is what I'm thinking, of writing. What do you think? So we live in this world where everything has to be minimal. Remember the telegraph times? You guys remember telegrams? Anybody has used telegrams? Way back? Yeah, we had to pay for each word. The longer your message was, you would spend more. That's not the case now with the emails, but the point is that it was all about you need to keep it very short. That's why you would see sentences like start, not even complete sentences. Mom unwell, start immediately. Right? Or somebody unwell, start immediately. So keep that in your mind. Writing should be economical. Not like answer papers that they write in exams where 5 pages means 5 marks. No. I'm talking about economical writing because people don't have patience to read. Nobody wants to read. So this is a simple one. Fresh fish food available today. Keep that economical thing in your mind and tell me how would you improve it. Try. Don't change the words. Keep the same words. Very simple. Fresh fish food available today. Yes. Do you think you can improve it, minimize it? Creatively. No? Go ahead. There's no right or wrong. Please go ahead. We're all improving. We're all learning together. So fresh and today you will remove. Why? Fish food available. Why would you remove fresh and today? So, super. So today is redundant because does it mean it won't be available tomorrow or it is not available as today? Why make it complex, right? Okay, remove today. Fresh fish food available. Did you say you would remove fresh? Why? Which seller is going to say it is not fresh? Ask any vegetable seller, they will say, oh, just, it's totally fresh. We got it from the garden today, right? So remove fresh. What are you left with? Anything else? Do you think it's okay? Available? What do you think? If it's not available, why would I say it? Is it needed? Not needed, right? Why do you need to say available? I'm saying it's obvious, right? Let's remove available. What are you left with? Fish food. Is food, what do you think about food? It's confusing. It's not that it's not required, it's confusing because I can't make out whether it is fish as food for humans or is it food for the fish? It's confusing to me, right? When it's ambiguous, let me make it simple. I would remove food. What are you left with? And then that guy, businessman, asked him, I'm left with one word, fish. Can I go with this? He says, no, you don't need fish because if you have a fish stall, with the bad smell, I think anybody can make out you have a fish stall. So they're left with nothing. The reason I'm saying is I think communication can be very interesting. You have to make it interesting for yourself. So if you think of all the, traditional, I think when you learn grammar in school, it must have been boring, nagging, right? But you can make it interesting. So I'll tell you how to make it interesting. Do you know there are 7 ways to join sentences in English? 7 words that you can use to join complete sentences. How? Not parts of speech. Parts of speech are there. Joining 7 sentences. For example, I'll give you a sentence. I am an engineer and I work in the Bay Area. How did I connect the two? Like that, you have 6 more. Those are all conjunctions. Tell me, and is a conjunction, right? Any others? So conjunctions, as the name itself says, junction means what? A junction where things meet, right? So conjunctions are joining words. But you said and is one of them. Any others? Huh? Think. There are only 7 words like that you use to join sentences in English. Complete sentences. And so I don't see a fan here. Do you see a fan? Oh, the AC is See, this is the Web 2.0. I'm still in Web 2.0. So if there was a fan, think of the word fan. And those are what boys? Fan boys. What are the fan boys? F for, A for and, N for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for it, S for so. These are the 7 little conjunctions you would use to join 7 sentences. I gave you this example just to make you understand. Learning can be fun if you make it interesting for yourself. Be it technology, be it communication, be it anything. So please read newspapers and less of social media, less of WhatsApp. I think these days is all Instagram, right? I don't think Facebook anybody uses. Sir, our time is Facebook, Orkut, and this is all Instagram, TikTok. TikTok times. Any other questions? Okay, I think, like I said, my only call to action is please keep learning. Learning is never ending. Everybody, regardless of which position you reach in any industry, any company, it's never ending. Please, use the abundant resources you have on the internet, learning content, certifications, brush up your basic skills, hands-on experience, talk to mentors, talk to seniors, get more knowledge. And don't be in a hurry to start earning in 6 digits, 7 digits. It will take time. I started off with 2,200 rupees in 1997 or 98. So it takes time, but if you learn, if you know your stuff, it will come automatically. Okay, so I wish you all the very best. Thank you. So yesterday I was in, NCB, the other NCB, National College, Bagepalli. So a couple of students asked me the question, sir, is doing masters really required or can I just stop with BCA? My answer to them was, I think it's absolutely needed, but you have 2 or 3 choices. One is do your BCA, maybe work for 1 or 2 years, gain some hands-on experience, and then you do your masters or MCA or MSc, whatever you want, MSc Computer Science. Or you do BCA and MCA in one shot, but I think only BCA is hard to get your first job because you're competing with IITs, you're competing with MS, they're also applying for the job of a software engineer. So masters is important. It's required. What used to be nice to have many years ago, it's become, even now, I think teachers need PhDs now. Similarly, you need masters. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Sir, ಬನ್ನಿ. It's a great honor to extend our heartfelt thanks to Dr. Gururaj, Vice President Oracle, for enlightening speech today at Bangalore Science Forum. Sir, your knowledge has now undoubtedly enriched our understanding and it has sparkled among us many questions. Thank you, sir. We deeply appreciate the time and effort you have taken today to come here and engage us. Thank you, sir. We look forward for future opportunities, learning, and also collaboration with you. Thank you very much for the support. We thank all the management members, especially our president, who has taken time, who is here with us all throughout the day. We thank our secretary also to have been here. We thank chairman, PU College, also to be here with us and spend the whole day with us. Thank you, sir. Sir, we would kindly request you always to see that you are with us, maybe online also, or whenever you come offline to deliver such lectures to us. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.